What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Create the Life You Dream. I have to say, it is becoming more and more just like spooky season, and like lately, just to give a little tidbit before we get into the video, my wife has been working at a local haunted house. It's called The Dark Manor. And I'll actually leave the link below of the website of the place that she is working at for this season. But she is playing one of the characters, and I don't really want to give away what character she is. If you've seen it on my Instagram, you kind of know what character it is, but I don't want to give away just in case if anyone local is watching this, you don't know what to expect. And I feel like everyone doesn't know what to expect when they walk into her section, but she sends me pictures every day of what she looks like, and there's times that I'm like, ooh, that is gnarly, babe, or like, ooh, gruesome. And there are times when she like gets my stomach because of how scary she looks, but it fits for the purpose of the Haunted Mansion, and it's literally one of her bucket list items. So I'm just like getting super excited as the month goes on, of just all the Halloween vibes and all of the just orange and black and purple and just all of the decorations that people are starting to put up, and it's just like fueling my soul. So I'm just like so excited about it. So I want to jump in today's video, and we are going to talk about motivation. And I'm actually surprised that I haven't talked about how to get motivated and how to stay motivated. And I feel like I haven't done this yet because it was something that I personally struggled with. I have a tendency to, whatever I'm working on, I'll work on it, form a plan, and then share it with you guys. So then that way you kind of learn from basically my mistakes along the way, and then that way we're all creating the life that we dream, and that's what this whole channel is about. And I just want to make sure that I'm motivating you, inspiring you, and just giving you a little bit of magic, because I love a little bit of magic stuff, but not too much. So I want to get a little personal. The last few months, I want to say I threw in the towel when it comes to motivation, and this is mainly it. I didn't have a proper routine. I let my routine go. There was a lot of transitions that were going on, and I personally chose to give it up. To just like, you know what, I'm gonna put it aside. And it also stemmed from getting the information about my leg and about my wrist, and a totally different outcome than what I expected. So it was hard for me to just process and grasp the fact that it's going to be permanent that way, and how to form my goals around that result, because a lot of times there's stuff that happens in our life and it might set us off track, and we need to form a plan of how to stay motivated during that time. The last full moon that we had, I had taken a digital detox, and it was a dramatic reality check for me during that time about how much I let go of the routines and motivation and momentum and just inspiration that I was having. Not for a large span, but it was definitely a reality check of like, from the universe and my ancestors, of like, what are you doing? Why are you stopping? And why are you doubting yourself? And why are you just throwing it all away? You're on the right track. We're lining everything up. You're not being patient. And so like I had a huge reality check, and I had to like reevaluate myself, and I took a whole time to like journal like all my thoughts out of like, was I making the right choices? Was I not making the right choices? Was I going in a totally different direction? How am I supposed to connect with people about my journey when it's so personal, but yeah, I want to share it. So when I had this huge reality check, I kind of got like, I like to just sit with my guides, my spiritual guides, and be like, okay, what are the next steps? Because it's really hard for me to sometimes take big leaps. And I'll discuss this with mostly my wife, but soon to be support team, of where I should go with the next portions of my life. And sometimes there are so many life choices that we need to make and we don't know if it's the right ones, and we take it for a whim and we go for it and just hope for the best. And that's what most of us are doing. So one of the things that my spirit guides were like, you need to do a video on how to get motivation and how to stay motivated. And when I got that message through during this full moon detox, I literally cringed, guys. I knew it was something that I had to do for myself first and then share it. So when I got that message, I was like, oh, why motivation right now? Like, I do not feel motivated at all. I was very in a low state of energy, and I was just really contemplating like if we were really going to be going home. There was a lot of just confusion, and luckily we're going to have a lot of great news coming up in the end of this month, so be excited, be ready. So going through and forming motivation and how to keep it, this is kind of like what I see myself getting stuck at. And I want to share this because you might be in the same place. So we have the beginning of the pandemic, and then we have like the end of the beginning of the pandemic, and then we have like the main pandemic, and then we have now, if that makes sense. So we're kind of like between the end of virtual schooling, the kids went back, and I felt personally that I was teetering between two different vibes, okay? I had the vibe that I was motivated on certain areas of my life, but I felt like I was being selfish, if that makes sense, that I was being motivated on certain areas of my life. And that was mostly my wellness area. And when it comes to starting a wellness journey, especially when you are recovering eating disorder, you're still plus size, you're trying to get healthy, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, there are times when people make comments or have their opinions on your wellness journey, even though it's not their wellness journey. And there was a time when I would feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't post my wellness journey, or maybe I shouldn't share my wellness journey because it's being selfish. I don't know where I formed it from. It was a concept. We worked through it. But that was one of the vibes. And then the other vibe was I was completely exhausted and had no motivation because I had A, B, and C to get done. And I just didn't want to start opening the box of tricks of trying to create some type of wellness in my life. So if you are teetering on both of those vibes of either feeling like you're being selfish with your motivation, or you have no motivation because you're completely exhausted, this is going to work for both versions because it worked for both versions in my life. What I first had to realize by being motivated, it stemmed from momentum of being inspired through routines and completed tasks. But the main thing was it helped me stay dedicated, and it helped me respect my boundaries that I set. That was important to me. Not important to my wife, not important to my daughter. There was even times when I would have to kind of tell them, as much as it breaks my heart, but I would have to tell them, hey guys, I need this. I need to do this for myself right now, whether it was throwing in a workout for the day or even just, hey, I need to get this work stuff done, and being dedicated to that. And it created that motivation because I had those little tasks that I had to complete. When we think of motivation, now if you want to pull out a notebook for this section, please pull out a notebook. I love notebooks and writing down notes and educating myself. So when we think about motivation, a lot of times it's stemmed to an actual goal that we're trying to achieve. And sometimes these goals are, it could be losing a certain amount of weight, could be trying to fit into a certain size. It also could be finding a new car or buying a house. For me, at one point, it's still there, but on the back burner, running a half marathon. And if you have been here since the beginning, you know that I'm going to say is still one of my major goals that I want to do when I'm 30 years old is run a half marathon. And when I got the information from my legs, I became extremely distracted because I concentrated on the injury than actually on the progress that I needed to take for that. But whenever we are trying to form the motivation towards these major goals, sometimes we get lost in just admiring the big picture, the result of, you know, for me, running a half marathon, I'm like thinking like, oh, I can't wait to cross that finish line and put the medal around my neck. And I was so focused on the outcome that I wasn't focusing on the work to build up to the outcome. And that could also be like even finding a car. We just think about, oh, my car's gonna look like this, I'm gonna feel like this, it's gonna smell like this, and we don't think about, okay, well, I need to get the finances for the car, or I need to build up my credit for a loan, or I don't even know if I can even find my dream car right now, especially because there's so much like backup car productions and just we're such a mess right now in the world, guys. But we, even to a point, like I did a vision board video. We created vision boards off of our goals, and that is a great tool to have, but you can't just focus on the outcome. You also need to focus on the work that you need to put in. So let's break this down step by step. I'm going to give you a quick plan for you to get the motivation and how to keep it during that time, okay? So number one, again, if you have your notebooks, please write this down. This is going to be a great tool for you. Number one, make a list of your top 10 goals that you want in your life. Now, this does not have to be goals that you are trying to accomplish this month. This does not have to be goals that you're trying to accomplish this year. This could be a goal that you have in 5 to 6 years. My half marathon goal, we're now going on, we have 3 more years before it is actual final, because my deadline is when I turn 30. So when, right? I'm 26, 27, 28, 29. Well, November, I'm turning 27, so it'll be a little bit different. But whatever major goals that you currently have that you want to achieve in your life at some point, I want you to write a list. Just choose 10 of them, okay? If you don't have 10, that's okay too. You don't need to have 10. That's just the max number. I don't want you to make more than 10. This is the biggest thing that you need to also keep in mind. It is okay to change your goals when you evolve into a different person. And I feel like that was a big thing that I had to accept, because there are times when we aren't going to accomplish all of the goals that we have on our list. But there are times when we will accomplish some of them because they were that important to us. Okay? So step one, make a list of 10 goals that you want in your life. Okay, so step two, you are going to choose one of those goals that is most important to you right now. It could be the quickest goal to obtain. It could be even just the most important one that's in your life. But I want you to choose your first top goal that you are going to work on. I understand that you're going to have a list of 10, but we are going to start with one goal. We are not going to work on all the different goals to just have them all happen. We will end up crashing and burning, and that was the one thing that I learned later on, is that I was trying to take little mini goals and form them for all of them, and I would get sidetracked or overwhelmed because I wasn't focusing on one goal. So I want you to take one goal, and then I want you to write a letter to yourself, make it personal, of why that goal is important. I want you to put reasons of why it was important. I want you to act like a little kid trying to convince your parents of why you need that vacation or why you need the cell phone. Or do you guys remember trying to convince your parents why you needed a cell phone? That was me. If you are the same way, like, we're vibing on the same level. But I want you to write a letter, and I want you to convince yourself of why this is so important. For me, running the half marathon, why was it so important? Because I wanted to run a race. One, I had so many leg problems in my life. Two, I felt like it was an accomplishment that was tangible. It is 100% tangible. It doesn't matter what my size or my health is. It is 100% tangible. But it also, you need to have actual reasons, so then that way in the beginning journey, when you don't have as much momentum happening, you have a reminder of why you started this. And it has to be a good enough reason for on those days, like a week from now when you don't see that much progression, you're like, why am I even doing this? You can pull out that letter and read it to yourself. All right, so then lastly, step number 3, this is gonna be the last step. You're gonna take that major goal, that one goal that we're gonna work on, and I want you to make a list of the first 7 steps you need to take. I'm gonna use my half marathon goal because it's easy to reference, but say the first step would be getting in a regimen of moving my body, let alone a regimen of just walking or running a mile. That would be one of the steps that I'm gonna put down. On top of it, it might be having a regimen of eating healthy or finding out what a runner's food regimen is. That would be another mini goal that I can make. And you're gonna make the first 7 mini goals or first steps that you need to take. And what you're gonna do for the first week, because they are small little goals, each day you are gonna take a little chunk out of that major goal, and you're gonna accomplish that one task for the first day, then the second day, and the third day, and you're gonna equal 7 days, which is a week. So then that's a week that you are working towards this one large goal. And by taking these little chunk size bites, it's gonna start the momentum of feeling motivated on this one goal that you are trying to achieve. You're finally going to get to the point of accomplishing that goal. After you started setting mini goals, you're gonna start setting even a little bit larger goals, maybe goals that will take 2 to 3 days to accomplish. Or after you get to that point, there might be goals that take a week to accomplish. You know, if running a half marathon, that's about, I believe a half marathon is over 8 miles. Maybe running 4 miles is gonna be my goal for the week, and that's what I'm gonna accomplish every day, is trying to get to 4 miles. And you can apply this to wellness, you can apply this to business, and every time that you are accomplishing a mini goal, you celebrate that. Take on the happiness and the appreciation that you just accomplished that mini goal. It might be simply just being able to drink 5 cups of water for a week straight. You celebrate that goal because that is your personal goal to lead up to that major goal. And that's how you keep that motivation going, because you have that momentum of inspiration keep on rolling and the ball keeps on going. And then it becomes your routine. It becomes your natural instincts. It becomes your regular way of living when you're trying to obtain a goal. So I hope this video is motivational. I hope this helps you understand of how to grasp motivation and how to keep it. On this channel, we're all about creating the life that we dream. So we have some type of goal that we are trying to obtain in our life. And we are creating this by reminding ourselves of the outcome, but also reminding ourselves of the work that we need to put in too, because it's not going to just happen in the blink of an eye. So I hope this video was motivational, inspirational, and a little bit of magical. I can't wait to see you guys for tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a really, really great day. Bye, guys.